What is up, YouTube? I am the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts, but right now it's more like DaVinci Rants, because I'm about to get into why, like the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, and maybe a couple of instances where I talk about the other series as well, but mainly those two. And if you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to check out my Dragon Ball Z Abridged Episode 60 Part 1 reaction. I just got done completing. I'll go ahead and leave a card in this video linking you to that. That way you can go check that out after this video or even during it. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and talk about this because it's been bugging the hell out of me. Me and my friend King Draco, he's a guy I do reactions with on DT Productions. We were talking about Dragon Ball Z and why Dragon Ball Super didn't feel like it had as big of an impact as this series did. And one of the things that I had mentioned, and it's something that I feel Dragon Ball Z fails completely, at least in this regard, is transformations. This is just one part, because you can go into the quality of the animation and stuff like that too. Dragon Ball Z had its moments where the characters didn't look that great, but usually they were pretty consistent with having the characters look decent. And one of the things that Dragon Ball Z did that was good compared to Dragon Ball Super, where they fail at, that is getting that emotional response that Dragon Ball Z evoked. Now, with the episode 60 of the Abridged series, it's the episode where Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2. One of the things that made that transformation so great, and just about every transformation in Dragon Ball Z, was they had two factors. One of them was emotional content. The other one was the first impressions. So emotional content. Throughout the entire Dragon Ball Z series, from the second Gohan was introduced to as a character back when Raditz first invaded, they gave him this trait where he would get mad and explode, and it would cause his power to explode, and like it would be like this hidden ability that he just randomly just inherited. And it goes all the way until really the Buu saga, but the Cell saga is when it hits its peak, in my opinion, because they show that like all these different instances where Gohan has gone nuts and like his power exploding, but then it all pays off in the Cell saga when like, okay, my dad knows that this is a trait that I have and this is what he's counting on, and then like the whole time you're like, Gohan, go nuts, we've seen you do it a million times, just do it, just do it. And then it finally culminates in a whole new transformation, and the thing is emotional, and you see Android 16 and he is spilling his guts out, letting Gohan know, hey, well, no pun intended, but he's just spilling his guts out, letting Gohan know, hey, just let go. Don't worry about you know, the planet, or don't worry about hurting anyone, just let everything go and just go nuts. This is what we need from you, Gohan. And even then Gohan is still kind of like just shook a little bit, but then once Android 16 gets killed, then it's like a snap. That little red line behind him when he transforms, that is a symbol as well. That is his psyche breaking, like, okay, you got me, you just completely broke me, I don't care anymore, I'm done, I'm gonna kill you. And I said the same thing in the reaction. I said it's just like when Gohan first went Ultimate Gohan against Buu. It's like, okay, no, I'm not trying to beat you, I'm trying to kill you. Like, you took me to a place where I'm not used to being. Like, this isn't where I normally go, but you took me there, and that's it, it's over now. The same thing could be what you could say with Goku when he first turned Super Saiyan 1. Like, there's this entire build-up of like Goku showing up at the last minute, and he's like this shining hero, and everybody's looking at him like, is that Goku? What happened to him? Why is he getting so powerful and like so fast? And I don't even recognize him no more. Like, this is the guy that back when he was a kid I used to fight against. We were on even ground, and now all of a sudden he's like light years ahead of me. What's going on? And then later on they introduce this story of a legendary Super Saiyan. There's this Saiyan that just like is just more powerful than everybody else, and it like like there's a philosophy that's put in place, and then Goku has been checking the boxes for that philosophy the entire time before that philosophy is even introduced. And then when it does get introduced, you're like, oh, so that explains a lot. And then later on when he transforms, it's like a build-up. It's like he's been investing so much in this character, and like, okay, well, now I know what, like, Goku, he has this, he's a Super Saiyan, but what exactly is a Super Saiyan? And then when he actually transforms, it's like, oh, that's a Super Saiyan. Yes, he went Super Saiyan. Finally, yes. And like, it just goes in with everything. Like with Vegeta, the entire series, he wants to be the Super Saiyan. He's fighting to surpass Goku. He never does it. He constantly gets like reminded, like, no, Goku is better than you. Goku's better than me. No matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I fight, Goku always is one step ahead of me. And then when he finally turns Super Saiyan, even though they did it kind of off screen, it was kind of anticlimactic, but you could just see when, like, the relief in his face, and it's like, oh no, I'm a Super Saiyan too. And when he first says it, you're like, get the fuck out of here, because he's been saying that the entire, ever since the Frieza saga. Like, you've been saying you're a Super Saiyan, that's not gonna happen. And then when it shows that he's serious, and that yellow aura goes around him, and then like he like starts transforming, and his hair starts to flicker, and his eyes turn blue, and you're like, oh shit, Vegeta finally got it. Yes, I can't believe, yes, about fucking time, let's go. And like, Dragon Ball Z is great at getting that investment. Like, you spent all these episodes following this, and then it like all culminates to this one moment where this character finally reaches that potential, and it's like, okay, now I feel like I've gained something because I've been with this character from the beginning, and I knew that they were going to make it, like, get to like this point where they were just like fucking ridiculous, and it happens. And then like you go to Dragon Ball Super, and one of the things that I hate, I mean, the Ultra Instinct transformation was okay. It wasn't great, but I'll get into that in a second. But my biggest pet peeve about Dragon Ball Super was the Super Saiyan, well, first of all, you can say Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. Both of them were completely disappointing. Super Saiyan God was disappointing because they didn't really give you enough time to get invested in that legend. Like, Super Saiyan God should have been what Ultra Instinct was. They should have been building that up from the beginning of the series, go through all those arcs, and then in the end he gets Super Saiyan God, and it's like, oh man, we've been like investing our time in this, and he finally reached it. But it's like something that happens like quick, and it's gone, and you hardly ever see it again. So that's the biggest problem with Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan Blue is disappointing on a whole nother level, because not only do you not even know that form is even possible, like it seems like they just threw it in there. Now, okay, you were Super Saiyan God, now you turn Super Saiyan, and oh, this is something on top of it. Not only do they like reach that form off screen, which you don't even see it, they don't even really explain too much about it. Oh, I was training and I turned Super Saiyan Blue. But even if they wanted to make that explanation, they could have done better, because Goku in Dragon Ball Z, he turned Super Saiyan 3. That's not the first time he did it. He says it's not the first time he did it, but the first time you see him do it, it's as if it's the first time he did it, because they invest the time into like making that an emotional thing. Like, they show all of his, like when he's transformed, they show all of these like clips of like him as a kid transforming into an adult, and like all this type of emotional stuff, and like they got the music in the background and everything else. But then like when Goku turns Super Saiyan Blue in Super, it's like he fucking starts glowing blue, and then you got these blue dandruff flakes floating off of him and shit, and now all of a sudden, oh, I'm a different form. And then, like, first of all, there's no emotional response to that. Like, we don't even know what the hell Super Saiyan Blue is. You just introduced us to this, and now you just bring it out, and you're expecting us to like be excited over it. Like, there's nothing to get out of it. Like, what the fuck is this? We don't even know what this is. Hell, it took like damn near like half a year for them to even give it a proper name. Y'all remember Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan? That's what the fuck it was called, until they finally sat down. I was like, okay, we're just gonna call it Super Saiyan Blue. And that goes into the other factor that I was talking about, because the first factor was emotional response or emotional content. The second factor was first impressions. When Goku turned Super Saiyan 1, because they at first they show you that Goku is getting his ass whooped by Frieza, and they're asking, oh, well, why doesn't he go Kaioken times 20? Oh, he's been going Kaioken times 20 the whole time. He just been getting his ass whooped. He has nothing he can do against Frieza. Frieza is the fucking be all end all of beings that he has to fight. And then when he finally turns Super Saiyan, you see that difference in power. Like, Frieza can't do anything to him. He shoots that little laser at him, and then Goku's just like... And then, like, Frieza tries to, like, attack him, and Goku just grabbed his hand. And then, like, he has that scene where he just slaps the shit out of Frieza. And then, like, everything Frieza does, he can't do anything because Goku just whoops his ass. The second he turns Super Saiyan to the end, like, the entire time is Frieza just getting frustrated. And then Gohan turned to Super Saiyan 2. He's getting his ass whooped. All of his friends are getting their ass whooped. Cell has already established that he is light years ahead of all the other fighters out there. And then when Gohan finally turned, I almost said Gohan. When Gohan finally turned Super Saiyan 2, you notice that difference in power. The first thing they do to establish that is when Gohan turns Super Saiyan 2, he goes and takes out the Cell Juniors with one hit. Every single one of them. Boom, boom, boom. Like, these are characters that were taking Goku to the fucking limit. Like, Goku couldn't do shit to him. They were whooping Goku's ass. They were whooping Vegeta's ass. The entire Z-Force, they were whooping all their asses. And then Gohan comes through and one punch, boom, make him explode. One kick, boom, he explodes. Like, and then they do it in like slow motion with this like effect where the camera's like just, what is it called? Like reverse colors. And Gohan's just doosh, doosh, doosh. And then Cell, he thinks he's gonna do something. He's been whooping people's ass the entire time. He goes up against Gohan, one punch, boom. He can't take it. He's like, what the fuck was that? Like, the entire time he's been doing this to other people, and now it's come full circle, and now he's the one on the receiving end. When Goku turns Super Saiyan 3, even though he doesn't beat Majin Buu has been fucking up everybody. They've already established that he is light years ahead of everybody. He beats Gohan, who they established in the last saga was the strongest character at the time. He whoops Gohan's ass. And then Vegeta, they show that he's more powerful now, but then he comes through and Buu whoops his ass. And then Goku comes through and like, no, I got this new form, and I'm gonna show it to you. And then he transforms Super Saiyan 3, and then he's able to do damage to Buu. Because at that point, nobody was able to do anything with Buu. But he whoops Buu's ass. He even says later on in the saga, I could have killed Buu if I wanted to at that moment, but I wanted to let Goten and Trunks do the fusion and beat him that way. But yeah, they established that they already have this like effect where they're strong, and then like the characters get strong, and then a villain will come through and they'll establish that this villain is a lot stronger than that character, and they do it with certain techniques. Like, they'll make him fight against the person that was the strongest of the heroes, and then just completely one-side him, like just completely whitewash him, whatever you want to call it. The strongest hero can't do shit to this villain. So they already established like, okay, this villain is unstoppable. And then they show that, then they make the transformation. It's like, oh, well, now we have this transformation, and then you just feel like, oh shit, this is impressive. This guy nobody could do any damage to, and now he's just whooping ass. And with Super Saiyan Blue, the first time we see him transform, he uses it against Golden Frieza. And then what happens after that? Super Saiyan Blue gets his ass whooped. Frieza whoops his ass, and then the only reason why Goku's able to win is because, oh, there's a loophole. Frieza's new form, he can only stay like that for so long, and then it's just like the joke in the abridged episode 60 thing where he's like, Gohan, well, when Cell's arm gets tired, then Gohan's going to be able to get back to her because Cell's going to be punching him so much he's going to get tired. That's pretty much what Super Saiyan Blue Goku did. Like, he let Frieza whoop his ass so much to the point where he got tired, and then he got the upper hand. What kind of shit is that? Like, if Muhammad Ali would have came into the boxing world using a rope-a-dope from the very beginning, he wouldn't have been considered the greatest of all time. If we just sit here and watch him every fight get his ass whooped, and then the last couple minutes of the fight he kicks it up and then knocks the guy out, so you still got your ass whooped like 20% of the or 90% of the damn fight. Like, what do we care? Like, that's not impressive. But yeah, like, they established that this form can't do shit, like it gets its ass whooped. And the entire time, Super Saiyan Blue, I don't think Super Saiyan Blue beat anybody. Golden Frieza, well, I guess Golden Frieza technically, but they had to get a do-over for that. So I guess Golden Frieza is the only one that Super Saiyan Blue has actually killed. And even then, like I said, that's because Frieza got tired. If Frieza was at its fullest and wanted to destroy him immediately, I don't think Goku could have done too much about it. When it comes to the Goku Black Saga, Super Saiyan Blue didn't do shit. When it comes to the Tournament of Power, Super Saiyan Blue didn't do shit. When it comes to the Universe 6 tournament with Hit and Kaba and all them, Super Saiyan Blue didn't really do shit. It beat the characters that you knew they were going to beat, but then when it got to the fight with Hit was able to beat both of them. And then you can even take it to that little filler tournament before the Tournament of Power took place, where Goku fought against Toppo. Like, Toppo still beat him. Super Saiyan Blue is shown to be a failure. It constantly fails every single time it does anything. Ultra Instinct, it made a real good first impression. That's why I say the transformation was okay, because they didn't do the emotional content side of it. You didn't really feel emotionally invested in it because they just introduced it to you. They gave you a tiny hint at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super where Whis is telling Vegeta that you need to like stop thinking so much and like just let your body react. That's why Goku's always a step ahead of you, because you think too hard and you just don't let things just go the way that, like, you just don't let things flow. So that's the only like hint they ever gave you of Ultra Instinct the entire time. And then right before the tournament, or at least in the manga, they show that like, oh well, Beerus he's mastered a little bit of Ultra Instinct because he's able to react without thinking. And then when the tournament actually takes place, the Goku, like I said, he makes that great first impression, because the first time you see Ultra Instinct, he's just like, he's fighting a character that is already established that he is miles ahead of everybody else, and then he's able to get on his level. And not only is he able to get on his level, but he's able to like embarrass him. But because they kind of did it where he's like, okay, well, I'm half Ultra Instinct, so he can't touch me, but I can't really touch him neither. So like, if he would have went just straight up full Ultra Instinct, that would have been more impressive to me. Like, they would have just skipped the whole whatever the hell the halfway transformation is called. I call it false Ultra Instinct, but yeah, when he turns full Ultra Instinct, that left a better impression than anything in Super, period. Super, to me, was an okay series, but honestly, I would probably put Dragon Ball GT above Super at this point, because even though I didn't like some of the storylines in Dragon Ball GT, I thought they were stupid. The character designs, the transformations, and everything else, they worked out. Because Super Saiyan 4, they did everything right initially. There was a little bit of emotional content because it took it all the way back to like Dragon Ball and the Ozaru transformation and everything else. These things that you were invested in like way back in the day, they reintroduced them, and then they had him go up against an enemy that was dominating everybody else, just like always. Goku was Super Saiyan 3, even though he was in his kid form, he was a hell of a lot stronger than he was in the Buu Saga. And this baby Vegeta was whooping his ass, and then he gets this Super Saiyan 4 transformation, and he embarrasses him. I mean, but the only problem is with Super Saiyan 4 is later on in the saga, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot by letting Vegeta turn into a Gold Ozaru, and then Goku has a little bit of trouble with him. He still ends up beating him, but he has trouble with him. Later on in the next series, Super 17 and the Dragon Arc, Super Saiyan 4 is pretty much a non-factor. Like, Super Saiyan 4 doesn't do shit. Goku always has to turn normal, and then he beats him somehow that way. So they kind of, like I said, shot themselves in the foot with Super Saiyan 4. They could have made it better, but they still had they did it right initially. Dragon Ball Super didn't do it right at all. As far as I'm concerned, Dragon Ball Super is a fan service saga. Like, what would happen if Trunks came back and met the new adult Gohan, who, like, him actually fulfilling his dreams and becoming a family man and a scholar? Like, how would he react seeing Gohan now? Or how would he react seeing that Krillin got married to Android 18, this woman that gave him hell and pretty much ruined his life? Like now all of a sudden she's this mom and she's caring and shit like that. What happens if Trunks met the younger version of himself as a kid? Like he saw the baby version, but what happens if he is able to interact with this new Trunks? Or like what happens if, I don't know, like Vegeta and Goku actually start becoming closer and becoming friends and like training together and having all types of goofy adventures? What happens if Vegeta becomes more of a dad person, because in the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga he was still in that identity crisis mode where like he was a family, he created a family, but he still wanted to be that Prince of Saiyans. Like he still didn't want to embrace the family he created because he's like, no, I'm still a warrior prince and I'm not trying to get invested in that. And every single saga he's trying to get back into being the warrior prince, whether it's, you know, him first getting his Super Saiyan powers and then he thinks, oh, I don't need you guys no more. Or when he lets Babidi make him Majin, it's like, oh, I did it because I wanted to go back to my former glory. But the new saga, it like, okay, well, what happens if Vegeta embraces the fact that he's a family man and he's on Earth and he's taking Trunks to the zoo and he's babysitting his like bra, and he's or Bulla, whatever you want to call her, or like he's like an actual husband to Bulma. Like that's the thing that Super did right to me. But when it came to fighting and the characters and stuff, I wasn't invested at all. I thought it had some of the worst character designs, period, because all they did was they gave it the Mortal Kombat treatment. They took characters, gave them a little bit of a palette swap, and then called them a whole new character. It was stupid. But anyway, that's my rant. I hope I got all that off my chest. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I will have more videos like this where I'm just like letting you guys know what I'm thinking and stuff like that. I'd like to have more, yeah, like I said, more stuff like this. That way you guys can know where I'm at in certain things. You can even ask me questions and I'll give you my opinions on them. It could be about anything. It could be about just trying to be positive, relationship advice, like trying to be successful, like trying to follow your dreams, anything. You guys, you know, you can always like talk to me. I will always try to give you the best advice I have, and if my advice ain't the best, I will let you know ahead of time. Okay, well, this is just my opinion, what I think you should do, but you can always, you know, talk to other people as well. But anyway, that's been this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna move on to some more reactions because I was gonna just react to this and the abridged episode, but I think I'm gonna do some more, probably some comedy specials and stuff. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm gonna give you guys the deuces. I'm the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci. Deuces.